Today we're going to explore a powerful and science-based approach to naturally restoring gray hair by supporting the body at the cellular level. This is not about covering gray strands with chemical dyes or spending money on cosmetic procedures. It's about understanding what is happening inside your hair follicles and giving your body the precise nutrients it needs to reactivate pigment production. First, let's clarify something important. In many cases, gray hair is not simply the result of melanocytes permanently dying. These pigment-producing cells often become dormant due to long-term nutritional deficiencies, oxidative stress, hormonal imbalance, and chronic inflammation. When the internal environment improves, these cells can sometimes resume activity. This content is for educational purposes only. Always consult your healthcare provider before starting or changing supplements, especially if you take medications or have existing conditions. Now, what actually happens when hair turns gray? Each hair follicle contains melanocytes, the specialized cells that produce melanin. Melanin is the pigment that gives your hair its natural color. These cells rely on enzymes, oxygen supply, antioxidants, amino acids, and trace minerals to function properly. When even one of these factors becomes insufficient, pigment production slows down or stops. Genetics certainly play a role, but they are not the entire story. Research suggests that lifestyle, stress levels, nutrient status, and metabolic health significantly influence how quickly pigmentation declines. Let's examine the biological mechanisms more closely. Melanin production depends on an enzyme called tyrosinase. Tyrosinase requires copper as a cofactor. Without adequate copper, this enzyme cannot function properly. At the same time, melanocytes require vitamin B12 to maintain proper red blood cell formation and oxygen delivery. They also require iron to support circulation and thyroid balance. Additionally, they depend on the amino acid tyrosine as the raw building block for pigment. On top of that, oxidative stress plays a central role. As we age, hydrogen peroxide naturally accumulates in hair follicles. In youth, an enzyme called catalase breaks down hydrogen peroxide into harmless water and oxygen. But after the age of 40, catalase levels decline significantly. As a result, hydrogen peroxide builds up and essentially bleaches the hair from the inside. This oxidative stress does not only affect hair. It contributes to age spots, joint stiffness, cardiovascular aging, and inflammation throughout the body. Gray hair can sometimes be one of the earliest visible signs of internal oxidative imbalance. So how do we address this? Let's go step by step through a comprehensive strategy. The first priority is optimizing copper levels. Copper activates tyrosinase, the master enzyme responsible for melanin production. Rich dietary sources include beef liver, oysters, sunflower seeds, lentils, and dark chocolate. However, many individuals unintentionally create copper deficiency by taking high-dose zinc supplements. Zinc competes with copper for absorption. If zinc is supplemented, copper must be balanced accordingly. A general ratio often suggested is approximately 8:1 zinc to copper. When supplementing copper, forms such as copper glycinate or bisglycinate tend to have better absorption than copper oxide. Always monitor levels with a healthcare professional and avoid exceeding recommended upper limits. Second, vitamin B12 is critical. As we age, stomach acid and intrinsic factor decline, making B12 absorption less efficient. This is especially true for individuals taking medications such as metformin or acid-suppressing drugs. Sublingual methylcobalamin allows B12 to absorb directly into the bloodstream through the mucous membranes, bypassing digestive limitations. Therapeutic doses often range between 1,000 and 5,000 micrograms daily, depending on individual need and medical supervision. B12 deficiency can present gradually with fatigue, brain fog, tingling in extremities, and accelerated graying. Testing serum B12, methylmalonic acid, and homocysteine provides a more complete picture of status. Third, support catalase activity and antioxidant defense. Since catalase declines with age, increasing antioxidant intake becomes essential. Foods such as broccoli sprouts, lightly steamed cruciferous vegetables, sweet potatoes, and organ meats can contribute valuable enzymes and nutrients. Enzymes are heat sensitive, so minimal cooking preserves their activity. In addition, selenium plays an important role by activating glutathione peroxidase, another antioxidant enzyme that protects cells from oxidative stress. Just 2 Brazil nuts daily typically provide adequate selenium. Avoid excessive intake, as selenium can be toxic in high amounts. Vitamin E also protects cell membranes from oxidative damage. Natural food sources such as sunflower seeds, almonds, and spinach are preferable to synthetic forms. Fourth, ensure adequate protein intake. Many adults over 50 consume insufficient protein, which impacts muscle mass, immune function, and hair health. Aim for approximately 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, unless otherwise advised by your physician. Tyrosine, found in poultry, fish, eggs, dairy, pumpkin seeds, and legumes, is a direct precursor to melanin. Without sufficient protein, pigment synthesis cannot occur efficiently. Fifth, consider PABA or paraminobenzoic acid. Historical studies have shown that PABA may influence pigmentation pathways in some individuals. While not everyone responds, some people report noticeable changes within 8 to 12 weeks. Typical supplemental doses range from 300 to 500 milligrams daily under guidance. Be aware that PABA may slightly increase sensitivity to sunlight. 6. Address thyroid and iron status. Even mild iron deficiency or suboptimal ferritin levels can impair thyroid function, which in turn affects melanocyte metabolism. Testing ferritin rather than relying only on hemoglobin gives better insight into iron stores. If supplementation is necessary, it should be done carefully and separately from copper to avoid absorption interference. 7th, manage stress effectively. Chronic stress elevates cortisol and increases oxidative damage. Recent research has demonstrated that prolonged stress can directly affect melanocyte stem cells within hair follicles. Practical strategies include consistent sleep of 7 to 8 hours per night, daily deep breathing exercises, meditation, moderate physical activity, and adaptogenic herbs, such as ashwagandha under professional supervision. Magnesium glycinate in the evening may support relaxation and sleep quality. To implement all of this without feeling overwhelmed, use a phased approach. Week 1. Begin sublingual B12 and incorporate selenium through 2 Brazil nuts daily. Schedule blood work to assess copper, B12, ferritin, thyroid function, and overall nutrient status. Week 2. Focus on copper optimization and increasing protein intake to your target level. Week 3. Add catalase-rich foods, cruciferous vegetables, and natural vitamin E sources. Week 4. Introduce structured stress management and consider PABA if appropriate. Visible changes generally appear in new hair growth within 8 to 12 weeks, as hair cycles gradually reflect improved internal conditions. The key principle is this: gray hair is often a signal, not just a cosmetic issue. When you correct nutrient deficiencies, reduce oxidative stress, and support hormonal balance, you're not only supporting pigmentation, you are improving overall cellular health. Rather than masking gray hair externally, this approach focuses on restoring internal balance. Consistency is essential. Small daily actions, maintained over months, produce measurable change. If you commit to this process, monitor your progress, work with your healthcare provider, and remain patient. Cellular renewal takes time, but the body has remarkable capacity to respond when given proper support. Thank you for investing in your health and taking a proactive approach. I look forward to continuing this journey with you in the next discussion.